Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Elden Ring as we are winding down the base set for Elden Ring, the board game. Only got, I think, 4 or maybe 5 of the big boys left, and then we are done. So we're going to try and knock out at least one per week on a video until we're toast on that. First off, I want to thank all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. You guys will get early access to this Sunday before the video releases on Wednesday. So if you want to become a YouTube member, you absolutely can. Or if you want to hit that subscribe button, you can absolutely do that. Pretty easy video. Without further ado, let's go. Alright, the first thing I do on this is I spray paint it in black, and then I do a white zenithal highlight from above. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you do that. Next, we are going to do all of the skin in some Darkoath Flesh. Now with those contrast paints on there, with the zenithal highlighting, you will get a natural tone that makes it look good for these big miniatures. I also feel like when you paint with contrast paints on bigger miniatures, it does make life a lot easier instead of doing it all in one miniature. This miniature is also not really conducive for an airbrush because it's got so much stuff going on. So here we are, we'll do a spin around so you can see exactly what you need to paint on the skin. Also, don't forget the tail on the back, as I had forgot. So yeah. Alright, the fur on the back, we're going to do a little bit of Agrax Earthshade on all of that fur. So there's kind of like a coat thing and then a fur, but there's also the leather piece at the bottom. They're pretty simple to differentiate between the two, but we're doing all of that coat piece, not the leather, in the Agrax Earthshade. Not that if you did it all in Agrax, you couldn't just paint over the leather in the leather we're going to do. Just save yourself some paint. Next, we're going to take the area of the fur, about middle up of each fur piece, and we're going to paint some Black Legion on there. Now, it doesn't matter if your Agrax is still wet. I almost prefer it because it's easier to blend into the Black Legion and the Agrax Earthshade. We're going to make that nice little transition from the brownish to the blackish. Make it look pretty nice. And as I had mentioned earlier, the leather portion on the bottom is going to be that Snakebite Leather. And we're going to put that all over the leather areas on the bottom. And also the straps as well. We're going to do this on the straps just to knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. Now if you notice, our Demi-Human Chief has got like a little armor piece, or maybe it's a trinket. I don't know what it is. But it's going to be on that right arm. And now I had accidentally deleted the next portion, so we're going to talk about it right now. All of those ivory pieces, tusks, we're going to do in Morghast Bone, and I had somehow not filmed it. Sometimes I just do some weird stuff. And just like magic, you see that the tusks are painted, but we're going to paint those tips of those blades with Black Legion. And then inside of the mouth with some Volupus Pink, pretty simple. Our 2 blades will be in Iron Warriors, so just go over that. And then we got a real simple wash we're going to do here in the next phase. Now I decided not to put any washes over really anything else except for the ivory, and we're going to do that in Agrax Earthshade. Again, pretty simple. Alright, for the highlight of the skin. Now, we're going to use some Beastagor Flesh, but what you want is it to be very, very watery. You want it to be as watery as possible. You also want this to be the focal point of the miniature, and if the sun was coming down, not that there's a lot of sun in Elden Ring, but you want that top portion, meaning the face, the shoulders, the arms, the little top portion of the chest to be the brightest point. So we're going to focus on that. Everything underneath that should be very light, so you should do very light strokes on that. I went over and just did basically everything in lines. So as you can tell, like from the skin, there's just lines in there with little ridges, and I just kind of drew little lines and went down the line. So on the arm, I went down the line, and the legs, I just started going down the line and just made some kind of patchiness work in that area. I didn't want to paint all over it. I'm just trying to make some contrast between the dark and the light. Now for the next highlight, I'm using some Kislev Flesh. Again, very watered down. You want this to be very watery so that it doesn't overpower what you just put on it. Again, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm going over the same exact areas. I'm just painting less of a surface area. I want it to be bright, but I don't want it to be overpowering on the Beastagor Flesh we just painted on there. So I went over the exact areas, focusing on the face as well, the tips of the ears, the nose area, the face, that type of stuff. And then I'm drawing lines again on all of our arms and legs and just kind of making it look like a pattern, but again, I'm doing it very lightly. Alright, for our fur, do a very careful dry brush of deep kin flesh. If you don't have this, Adminastratum Grey, whatever kind of gray, light colored gray you got, you can throw on there. Alright, to re-highlight up our ivory, it's going to be a 3-part little coloring. And this is kind of a focal point of the miniature. I know the skin is the focal point, the face, the depth in those arms and legs and whatnot, but the ivory is kind of, when you turn it, it sticks out. So we're going to do a reapplication of Morghast Bone. Do not get that into any of the recesses. You just want to stick to the top, a little bit in the center top, and, you know, just get in those specific areas. Once you are satisfied with that, we are going to do some Ushabti Bone over those same areas. Now, I'm not going to go over 100% of the surface area I just painted with the Morghast Bone. I'm going to do about 75, leaving some of that Morghast Bone and transitioning from the Morghast Bone to the Ushabti Bone. And I'm just building up those highlights. We are also using these colors on the teeth as well, so make sure you're getting those teeth at the same time. Alright, and as a final highlight of our teeth and those ivory tusks, we're going to do Screaming Skull. We're going to do about 50% of the surface area we just painted with the Ushabti Bone and just making them stand out real nice. And it'll look very nice on the back of our Demi-Human Chief. Alright, to highlight up our leather area, we are going to do some Hobgrot hide, and by doing this, we are going to just kind of go over the raised areas and the edging. Nothing too crazy here. If you don't have this color, Steel Legion Drab XV88 will suffice just as well. To highlight up our little knives, swords, daggers, whatever they are, we're going to do some Leadbelcher just on the top portions. Don't overdo it, don't go crazy with it. And then for the eyes, we are going to do some white with some Bad Moon yellow on top of that white to give those very spooky looking yellow eyes some life. Moving on to the bottom or base portion, we are going to put all of our stones in Gryph Charger Grey. That will make it very Elden Ring like. You can use Basilicanum Grey if you would like to. I just want to add some colors in there that makes it look a little different. Alright, for the dirt area, we are going to use some of that Aggaros Dunes. Now, you can get that into the steps or the Gryph Charger Grey if you would like to kind of give it a little colorization, make it a little wet blending. Pretty easy, nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's it for that. And your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done, is the rim of the base, and of course Abaddon Black or whatever kind of black you got. And we are now finished with the Demi-Human Chief. There we go. And it turned out pretty good. I like it. Got some definitely some depth to it. Got some good coloring. Got some look fantastic on a game board. That's all I'll have to say. But I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. Again, you guys will get early access to this on Sunday before release on Wednesday. So if you want to become a member, that's a big perk you get, as we're trying to produce as many videos as we possibly can, you know. But hit that subscribe button, hit the follow, hit the thumbs up, and hit the bell so you get alerted whenever we go live. Until next time, I love you all. Paints on.